Greetings adventurers, Wizard Keen here, back with the sparkles in my eyes and a plan in my pocket. Today we embark on a crystal quest. That's right, we're building an amethyst farm. Not just for the beauty, no. For the magic, because a new magic add-on requires amethyst shards. And you know what that means? It's time to get geological. Armed with a tutorial and unreasonable optimism and a pickaxe that may or may not survive the day, I dive deep into the purple heart of Minecraft to tame a geode. Will it work? Will I botch it? Will I forget a piston? Who knows? But let's get stuck in and find out. Right, here we go. Down the spiral staircase. There we go. Straight into the water. Lovely. Okay, so this here is the mine shaft beneath my tower, and conveniently, or suspiciously I suppose, the geode lies directly-ish below. Now, I'll admit to something to you, dear viewers. On my first visit, I may have mined a few too many of the shiny bits before realising the shards only come from buds. But no matter, we shall rebuild with grace and care. First, we're going to pretty this up a little bit. I fancy turning this dreary shaft into a chamber of echoes, where every footstep sings and the walls hum with geodedic... geodedic? Well, we'll call it that. Geodedic charm, I think. So, we're going to place our blocks of amethyst, maybe on top. I was thinking about a box, but I'm not too sure because I've got all those bits on that side now. Right, okay, safety first. Just as any cautious conjurer will tell you, narrow the corridor, reinforce the walls, prepare the descent. Listen to the sound. It's like fairy charms in a wine glass. It's perfect. Right, now let's take these carefully carved wizard stairs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 20. Goodness me, there's a lot. Oh, steady. Don't fall in. Actually, there's water. I can fall in. Excellent. Ow! Goodness me. Time to collect my dignity and my inventory. The first order of the day is to gather all these shiny bits. I see some iron peeking at me from the wall, and there's some copper over there as well. Glorious, glorious stuff. Now, before we get swept up in the shimmer, let's address the lurking menace. Mobs, creepers, zombies. Things with far too many legs, and I must make this area as mob-proof as wizardly possible. So, let's seal off any ledges they might leap from, except spiders, of course. Okay, spiders are chaos incarnate. So, we'll save the arachnid anxiety for another day. Okay, right. I'm going to flatten the floor and smooth it out. I want proper corridors where one can stride confidently from into their geode farm without being surprised by a lovely hugging skeleton. Yes, logistics, friends. It's all about logistics. Yes, I'm going to mine through here, place my path along this way, and keep it well lit. This is the important thing with all this kind of stuff. I might have... See where that brown bit of dirt is over on the right? That's actually where we're heading. So I'm gonna actually cut through here. Boom, 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 boom. There we go. And I'll fill that in. Chop this up. I may be over-engineering this. But why not? Why not? Besides, if it isn't slightly excessive, is it even enchantment? Oh, look over there. That's that gleam. Iron and another glint of redstone. Oh, how they call to me like sirens from the stone, but I shall not be seduced. No. This isn't a mining episode. We're not here to descend into pickaxe-induced distraction. We have a purpose. We have a plan. And a very sparkling destination. Although there's some there. I'm just going to grab it. I can't help myself. Come here, good eye. Actually, it might come in useful. I'm continuing to gently carve out this glimmering geode, one shimmering shard at a time. But alas, a thought has crept into my wizardly mind. I may have misjudged my tools. My trusty pickaxe is wheezing in protest, so I'm going to swap it out for my other diamond pickaxe before it crumbles. The other one crumbles to dust and regret. Still, before I retreat for repairs, let's gather a few more of these delightful crystal chunks. I'll tell you what, let's segue this into a mining montage. Well, now my pickaxe has sort of nearly just about run out of pick. It's just barely a handle now, a rather tragic wand with no sparkle left. So I shall leave this shimmering geode in peace for now and pop back upstairs. I need to gather supplies, a bit of iron, a touch of wood, which somehow I always I don't have enough of. A wizard's pantry is always mysteriously empty of the things I need the most. And then enchantment. Yes, I'll be crafting a fortune pickaxe, which is going to help me with the geode. Hopefully one brimming with magical potential and good luck. So it's off to the crafting table, the enchantment chamber, and perhaps a mild detour past the storage chaos. I shan't be long, dear adventurers. Back in a blink, before you can say magical splinters. Well, now look at me, armed with shiny new tools, chests for storage, fence posts for tidiness, and all the bits and bobs a wizard could ever do or ever need for a proper mining expedition. And what's this? Yes, my faithful friend, the Allay, fluttering along beside me, holding my emerald like some sort of magical badge of office. Today, dear companion, you have a noble quest to swoop and scoop all those glittering shards as they tumble from the walls. A true treasure collector, and a very polite one at that. Now, I don't quite know whether Allays are lads or lasses, or perhaps something in between, so for now they shall be simply called them, or they. Mysterious, magical, and mildly mischievous. Right then, back to business. I'm going to take my old pickaxe gently now and begin the delicate process of carving away everything but the budding blocks. It's like sculpting a crystal cathedral from the inside of a mountain. And yes, dear adventurers, I think this calls for another montage. The chamber is carved out, the walls are sealed, and the alley is free to flit and flutter like a sapphire spark in the dark. I've gifted them a shard, and it's just a sort of a token, a glimmering memento of their noble task. And look, with every soft chime of amethyst that's cracked free, they swoop down, they scoop it up, and then they gently drop it back to my feet. It's unbearably sweet, and if I weren't a wizard of great dignity, I might just shed a little enchanted tear. The buds are budding, the crystals are growing, and I've even built a walkway all the way around, perfect for pacing around while pondering the arcane. One thing to note, I did log out and back in again, and now my allays change colour. It's curious, and I'm not sure if this is a feature or a magical mood swing. Regardless, I rather like it. So I'm pretty happy with how this has all developed. I was a bit unsure to start with, and it took a lot longer than I actually firstly anticipated. My only sadness is that these budding blocks cannot be moved. Not by piston, not by pickaxe, not even by silk touch or sheer will, and I've got a plenty of that. They're rooted deep in the crust of the world, and so we work around them. So I'm going to gather a few more shards, and then I'm going to go back to the tower, and I'll show you what magical mischief we've begun crafting up there. I've returned to the upper reaches of my tower, and yes, an odd thing has happened. When I first added this magical add-on, you see, I hadn't the inventory space, I believe, of a disciplined wizard, so I wasn't handed the magical sacred manual, the instruction book, so to speak. Typically, so anyway, the spell book was denied me due to my untidiness, but worry not, I procured it now, and what a tome it is, full of arcane scribbles, complex crafting rites, and something called a config file, which I assume is either a spell or a very tiny goblin. So what we have here is all of our magical guides and a glossary of glyphs and runes. Is very promising indeed. Now we've already created a magical workbench, but we were looking at kind of a magnifier and glyph press, which is cool, runes and glyphs, which are used as the basis for spell crafting. So this is all merely the beginning. What I think I'm going to be doing today is mana harvesting. Okay, so which is essential for the arcane altars, which are fueled by mana. So to get one working, you'll need to set it up with a scope connected to mana tank and mana pipes. Blah blah blah. So first things first. We need to conjure mana. So we're going to dip our toes into the very lifeblood of magic itself. Then we'll be crafting stuff. Now, again, let's get rid of this snow here. One of the things I think I got wrong right at the beginning was the mana tank over there. I created the mana tank and I tried to connect it to things, but it just wasn't working. That's because you create a mana tank and you stack them. So that's the kind of answer that I was looking for. That I didn't understand right at the beginning. In actual fact, it doesn't actually say that in the instructions either. But there we go. So what we're going to be doing is I'm going to set up from the very beginning. So we'll need tools gathered, workbenches relocated, and we're going to turn our crystals into currents, and we're going to turn our tanks into rivers of magic. So from the top, we're going to craft our magic workbench. So we need some iron, some wood, and I've got plenty of amethysts. So let's just pop down into my storage system and grab some iron. There we go. Grab, grab, grab. Put all this back in place. First things first, the magic workbench. It's going to be the very heart of our arcane operations. And with a bit of careful conjuring and a few handy ingredients, I'll place it here. That's right, on the floor. And with that, poof, this humble room is now officially the Wizard's Workshop. Now, if we take a peek inside, you will see the secrets begin to unfold. Okay, we've got a fluoroscope, moonlight scope, which is cool, which just looks really cool as well. The mana harvester base, floor, yeah, we've got that. So a glyph press, which we're going to need, and the mana meter, which I think is going to be really important. So it seems I'll be needing a little bit of gold, some iron, and perhaps even a dash of crystalline essence. And yes, more bits and bobs that I'm going to find in this goblin's junk drawer. So no time like the present. I'm now going to go off and collect all the necessary components. So hold tight, and I'll be back in just a moment. Okay, I've gathered a few essential ingredients: glass, gold, smooth stone, a pinch of optimism, and pop them into a chest that I'm just going to build here. So there we go, put that down there, and I'll pop it over here. Tidy, very tidy. And it sounds like my parrot has arrived as well, squawking away and freaking me out with sounds of creepers and zombies. Okay, let's focus. So we're beginning with something practical. I think the mana tank is a lovely little contraption for storing the magical juices of the universe. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to craft one, or maybe 2 or 3 or 4. Perfect. Because I think the more is better. And each tank stacks as well. So watch this. So we're going to if we just jump up. This one, I think they stack into stacks of 4. We'll just do 3 for the time being. And then we'll do 1 right next door to it as well. 1, 2. And that's what the mistake I made earlier, was that I just put one down. It was just a kind of block. And there we can now connect them via the, there we go, the mana pipes. So we can kind of put the pipes together. Perfect. And let's feed our little mana engine some amethyst so it can start extracting. So pop that in there. And you could hear it's starting to smoke. And there's a kind of bubbling sound. And that's our mana being extracted. Awesome. Okay, now it's time to gaze skyward. So we've got our mana scope, our magical scope. So this delightful contraption apparently extracts pure magic mana from the very atmosphere. Moonlight, starshine. Who truly knows? Magic is, after all, an imprecise science. And I like it that way. But first, the mana meter. So this is a rather handy little device. Just quick to craft. And you can kind of check on the amount of mana that is in each object. And also I think it tells you a little bit of information about all of our different devices as well. Okay. So let's connect this to... Oops, it goes upwards. There we go. Cool. Excellent. So that should be delivering mana to this tank. And I want to just... this is my little bit of science. How fast is naturally extracted mana versus the brewed mana? It is harvesting mana, apparently. There is some at the bottom. So it's slow, but steady. And you don't need shards, which is a kind of an important thing. The mana flows, the gears are turning, and somewhere deep in the tower the air smells faintly of arcane ozone and mildly burnt toast. But our journey into the mystical arts has only just begun. Glyphs, runes, and curious contraptions await in our next chapter. Until then, remember to like, subscribe, and whisper kind words to your ally as they remember everything. And as the moon rises over the tower, I leave you with this. May your spells never backfire. May your parrot stay perched, and your socks remain forever dry. Farewell from Wizard Keen, sorcerer of the gentle arts.